All right. Good evening, everyone. We're going to go ahead and call this meeting to order. We always start our meetings with a couple things. One, we do a moment of silence before Pledge of Allegiance, and then we'll move on to the roll call. And then after that, I'll just give a few instructions about how we're going to proceed tonight. So if you would please join me to stand for a moment of silence. Thank you. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Next will be roll call.
Commissioner Reppert. Here. Commissioner Moody.
Here.
Commissioner Kelly.
Here.
Commissioner Jones.
Here.
Commissioner O'Connor.
Present.
Commissioner Lanier.
Present.
Mayor Bliss.
Yes. All right. Next, it'll take us to our first opportunity for public comment. So let me walk you through our agenda. If this is your first time joining us tonight, we have 3 opportunities for public comment. And the very first one, which I'm going to open up momentarily, is if you are here tonight to speak about something that is on the agenda that we're actually voting on. So you can see it up here on the screen, but there's also hard copies of our agenda. So if there's an item that we talked about earlier today that's on the agenda tonight that we'll be voting on, in a moment, I'll open up that public comment period. We have a couple rules for public comment. We ask that you share your name, the city that you live in, and then you'll be given up to 3 minutes to speak. We ask that you come to this microphone over here. There's a clipboard over here where you can write your name down, and that's really just to make sure that we get it right in our records. And then you can keep an eye on the clock right in front of me. If you're here for a scheduled public hearing, initially we were going to have 2 public hearings tonight, but we had a misprint or a miscommunication on one of those public hearings. So if you are here tonight to speak about the Brownfield Redevelopment Authority request for 12 Weston, that public hearing is actually not going to happen tonight. It's going to happen on January 8th. So I just wanted to let you know that so that you don't sit through the whole meeting and then find out that we're not going to have a public hearing on that item. We will have a public hearing on the Brownfield plan for the RDG Walker LLC, which is often referred to as Walker View. So that public hearing is still going to be tonight, but it's a little bit later on the agenda. And then at the end of the meeting is when you can come up and speak about anything. That's open public comment period. So I'll get started on the first opportunity for public comment. So I'll open that up. If you're here tonight to speak about something that we're actually voting on, now's an opportunity to come forward. And again, that's items that we're voting on that are listed in our agenda. So if you're here for something that we're voting on, come forward. If not, I'll move on. Mr. Miller, you coming up? Okay. Coming up. Going to start giving you a reserved spot right in the front.
City staff wants me, the guys in the control room and back, they
You
want me back there
stick-
because when I can't hear, they can't hear you either. So they want a senior citizen.
So you're
back.
helping out the staff back there. Thank you.
All right.
Thanks. All right, Mr. Miller.
A very pleasant good evening, fellow veterans and citizens of Grand Rapids. This is the House of the People. Watchdog Miller reporting. Welcome to Simon Legree Square, where black bus routes 1, 2, 3, 4, 14, and 5 are still banned and buried down at Gadsden's Wharf, so-called Central Station. Remaining disgraceful year after year, 8-1 and 9A1, the same items. Who exactly are you appointing to these key committees? This happens year after year. You know, I have no problem staying in federal court for the next 3 years over this stuff. Who exactly are you appointing to these key committees? You know how disasters have been in the past. Uncle Tom after another, rubber stamp after another. Some senile individuals, a disaster. On number 8, 1 and 2 and 3, this city remains seriously and grievously overbonded. 9B1, Gilda's needs a bus stop there. If these ladies are on chemo, then they shouldn't be driving around. There's no bus stop. there's no bus stop on your Stop Star 12 out there. Why are you giving them cash? Get a bus stop in there, okay? Let's go on to C1, 747 Fulton. You're still, actually, frankly, no time. You're still going to be blowing $75 million on this boondoggle. When you put in a BRT stop, a fancy new stop, you're creating a transit divorce because you're divorcing the local stop from the express stop, which would be the 50. And it's a transit divorce for us riders. For your 10-inch thrill out there on these BRT stops, we're out at least 720 inches walking down the street because you're separating the local, Commissioner Kelly, you're separating the local stop from the express stop. C3, I see no address. C5, what is this all about? Vacating Goodrich? We're just here to make faggot-infested founders happy. Who is benefiting from vacating Goodrich Street? I see it as a useful street out there at Gadsden's Wharf where you bury all our buses. D1, you have food trucks. You have more skyscraper parking garages downtown than city bus stops. In other words, rapid bus stops. Dash is filling in. You don't have enough, but on the food truck stops, it's fine by me as long as they're not taking up any historic bus stops.
Thanks, Mr. Miller. All right, anyone else who wishes to be heard on items that we are voting on tonight? Okay, seeing none, I'm going to close that opportunity for public comment, and that will take us to approval of our minutes. Can I get a motion?
So moved. Support.
All right, Commissioners, any comments about our minutes? And these are from December 4th. All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, it carries. All right, next that will take us to petitions and communications.
First one is a communication from Stephen Wooden regarding their resignation from the Housing Appeals Board.
That is referred to Committee on Appointments.
Communication from Commissioner Kurt Repart regarding the resignation from the Area Agency on Aging of West Michigan.
That is referred to Committee on Appointments.
Communication received from Scott Atchison regarding parking hours and rate increases.
That is received and filed.
And communication received from Scott Atchison regarding a downtown information center.
And that is also received and filed. All right, next that will take us to reports of city officers.
The first one, the city clerk submitted the 2019 standing committees and other commissioner appointments report.
That is received and filed.
Comptroller's report for the period of November 22, 2018 through December 5, 2018 in the amount of $25,832,214.34.
And that is received and filed.
And the treasurer's report for the period of November 24, 2018 through December 3, 2018.
And that is also received and filed. All right, next that will take us to our consent agenda. So our consent agenda are items that are on our agenda that we talked about this morning. We had a number of standing committee meetings, and at those meetings, these items were voted on unanimously. So with one voice vote tonight, we'll adopt those. Can I get a motion for the consent agenda?
So moved. Support.
All right, Commissioners, any questions or comments? All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? It carries. All right, next that will take us to ordinances to be adopted, and we have 3 ordinances before us tonight.
The first one is an ordinance amending Section 1 of the Budget Ordinance 2018-35 for fiscal year 2019, Amendment Number 11.
So moved.
Support.
All right, Commissioner Jones, you want to tell us about this?
Yes, Mayor, on this morning, we had 6 items for our budget ordinance. One happened to be a grant, the acceptance of a grant for our community's children, and the others happened to, there was also a grant that we received, or, I'm sorry, a grant that we received from the MDEQ for our Plaza Roosevelt redevelopment, and also a update from our engineering department for roof asset management, as well as moving money around regarding the Dunnigan Avenue water main extension. And so today's efforts in no way affected the contingent balance.
Great, thank you, Commissioner.
Excuse me.
Commissioners, any questions or comments?
None.
All right, this is a roll call vote tonight.
Commissioner Jones,
Yes.
Commissioner Lanier,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Connor,
Yes.
Commissioner Repart,
Yes.
Commissioner Moody,
Yes.
Commissioner Kelly.
Yes.
Mayor Bliss.
Yes, and can I get a motion to give this immediate effect?
So moved.
Support.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? It carries. All right, next that will take us to our second ordinance to be adopted tonight.
Consideration of zoning ordinance text amendments to implement Housing Now, recommendations number 3, number 8, and number 9.
All right, can I get a motion?
So moved?
Support.
All right, Commissioner Kelly, you want to tell us about this?
Yes, these are our ordinance that have to do with our zoning considerations. So these affect ADUs and lot size, which will be smaller to accommodate some builds and to begin to reach our affordability goals. In terms of the public input, there will still be an opportunity for that should neighbors object through an administrative process with the planning department.
Great, thank you. So Commissioners, we've had a lot of conversation, and these recommendations, I think, are good consensus that takes into consideration the concerns that we heard, but still allows us to move forward. So any additional questions or comments? Yeah, Commissioner?
Is there a reason for us to have them all under one motion as opposed to each of the recommendations being separated out?
Yeah, I think it's because they all fall under text amendments, and
Okay.
so it's in the same,
Body
the
of
zoning
work.
ordinance body
Got
of work, so it's the text amendments within that.
Got it.
That's a good question, though.
Thank you.
All right, any other questions? All right, this is a roll call vote tonight.
Commissioner Lanier,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Connor,
Yes.
Commissioner Repart,
Yes.
Commissioner Moody,
Yes.
Commissioner Kelly,
Yes.
Commissioner Jones,
Yes.
Mayor Bliss.
Yes. All right, next that will take us to our third ordinance to be considered tonight.
Consideration of zoning ordinance text amendments relative to medical marijuana, which include allowing for secure transporters and safety compliance facilities as a permitted use in certain zone districts, modifying the administration, timing, and mapping of required separation distances, modifying separation distance requirements for provisioning centers located in industrial zone districts, and other amendments meant to clarify and correct previously adopted language.
So moved.
All right, Commissioner O'Connor, you want to tell us about this?
Yeah, this is after months of community input and discussion and learning about the changes in state law that were made surrounding medical marijuana. This is our recommendations to the zoning code to allow those different varying types of facilities to exist within our community.
All right, thank you. Commissioners, any questions or comments? All right, this is a roll call vote tonight.
Commissioner O'Connor,
Yes.
Commissioner Repart,
Yes.
Commissioner Moody,
Yes.
Commissioner Kelly,
Yes.
Commissioner Jones,
Yes.
Commissioner Lanier,
Yes.
Mayor Bliss.
Yes. All right, next that will take us to our public hearings for tonight. So as I said earlier, initially we had talked about having a public hearing related to the brownfield for 12 Weston. We are not going to have that public hearing tonight. That will actually be happening on January 8th. So if you're here tonight to be heard on that item, you can still provide us with input either in writing or at the final public comment, but we'll ask you to come back on January 8th to speak to that. So we have one official public hearing tonight, and this is a public hearing to consider a revised combined brownfield plan amendment under Act 381 of 1996 for RDG Walker LLC, or referred to as the Walker View Project. So we're gonna start this public hearing. First, I'll have Kara Wood share some information about this, why it's before us tonight, give us some background, and then if you're here tonight to be heard on this item, I will open up that public comment period momentarily. So Carrie, you want to tell us about this?
Yes, tonight's public hearing is regarding an amendment that's being requested by the City of Walker and the developer RDG Walker LLC for the Walker View project. This project is comprised of approximately 200 acres of property, which is seen in blue on the map. This is property that has been conditionally and temporarily transferred from the City of Walker to the City of Grand Rapids pursuant to a Public Act 425 agreement. The original duration of that transfer was for 15 years, and as a result of this amendment request, there would be an extension, and has been an extension approved by the City Commission for that agreement. In addition, the request includes an extension of 10 years for reimbursement of tax increment revenues to the developer, and 5 additional years for the capture to fund the local brownfield revolving fund. The activity at the development has caused no additional increase in eligible activities, so the $6.2 million will not increase, it will stay the same, and much of that work has already been done. So the 425 agreement has provided a longer duration of that conditional and temporary transfer, and therefore both municipalities have approved that first amendment to the 425 agreement and need to consent to the Brownfield Plan Amendment extension as well. The Brownfield Authority has approved and recommended the attached First Amendment to that combined plan amendment for City Commission's consideration at their November 14th meeting. Like I mentioned, the eligible activities of the project included only public infrastructure, and the majority of those activities are largely complete. The developer has reported increased sales activity at the property and expects several transactions to occur in the near future that would result in significant private investment and job creation. Under the amendments, like I mentioned, the Brownfield Authority would retain the right to capture the taxes for the final 5 years in its local Brownfield revolving fund. This project amendment request was presented to the Economic Development Project Team on November 9th. And I'd be glad to answer any questions you might have on this amendment, or we have Jeff Edwards here representing the applicant.
Great, thank you. This is a project we've been working on in partnership with Walker for quite some time. Commissioners, before I see if you have any questions for Jeff, are there any questions for Kara? Okay. Jeff, anything to add?
Good evening. I appreciate your consideration of our request. I think the last part of what Kara had pointed out is.
Oh, I'm sorry. Can you speak into the microphone a little bit
sorry
more?
about that.
Sorry.
I don't know if this thing
You're
raises
so tall.
up at all.
I don't have that problem. so.
Identify himself. That's
Oh,
what he
and
asked.
and identify himself. So this is Jeff Edwards.
Oh,
and
I'm
he's
sorry,
with-
yes.
He's with RDG Walker LLC.
Yeah, my apologies. No, sales are going very well. There's a lot of interest in development of the parcels out here. I think the challenge that we've run into is the timing of how quickly we can make construction happen, and that's due in part to a lot of economic factors that I think a lot of us didn't foresee when we first kicked off this project, steel tariffs, for example, being one of those. So I think what this really does is just help provide some additional flexibility and time for planning to get some of those projects off the ground, because at the end of the day, it's ultimately the construction and the taxable value from that construction that, you know, reimburses the costs and, you know, brings the jobs and the things that we've all worked so hard to accomplish out here. So thanks again, and, you know, happy to answer any other questions.
All right, Commissioners, any questions? All right, thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, so if you are here tonight to be heard on this request, so this Brownfield request for Walker View, now's an opportunity to come forward. Same rules apply. We ask that you share your name, the city that you live in, and we'll give you up to 3 minutes to speak. Are you coming up to speak on this, Mr. Miller? Okay. You are, Mr. Miller, you don't need to be recognized in order to come up. You can just make your way up to the microphone. I think it's hard for us not to recognize you, Mr. Miller.
Close to.
Cabela View. We're talking Cabela View here. Watchdog Miller back. This is the piece of property over 1 square mile, 200 acres, that Cabela rejected, and we're pulling this basically worthless land miles north of our city, and doing all of Walker's legwork on this and the funding for Walker. Why? We have 10 to 12 major transit corridors in the city of Grand Rapids that have never been, we still don't have bus service there because Walker's had up to 4 board members on the Rapid Board when they only deserved 1 with 27,000 people, and we're around 200 grand in terms of population. Anyway, Walker's playing us for suckers. My math now is we're up to 23 years on this ridiculous project. It should never have happened in the first place, and you turned your procedures upside down. Before it had to be a designated brownfield before you went up to Walkerville. So how on earth Walker's already demanding a latent demand study. They had 46 grand out of the rapid on Leighton to Vance up over 3 Mile Road with no city bus service. Well, the bus drivers pay is too high to cover all the transit corridors that need service. So this is just going to put us more in the hole in terms of needed bus service. We should not be up there in the first place in Walker, and it kind of reversed maybe 160 years of procedures here, going back to the Common Council of doing stuff for Walker. Some of my aunts were annoyed back in '59 when Walker didn't join Grand Rapids. And hi, Commissioner Kelly. Some of my aunts were annoyed. It should have joined us back there, Grand Rapids, back in '59, but they did not. And so I'm fully opposed to this. And how many years is all up to now altogether? 23 years. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Miller. All right, anyone else who wishes to be heard on this item? Okay, seeing none, I'm going to close that public hearing, and that will be referred back to our committee of the whole. All right, so that pretty quickly takes us to public comment period tonight. So if you are here to be heard on any other issue, so anything that's weighing on your heart or your mind, now's an opportunity to come forward. Same rules apply. We ask that you share your name, the city that you live in, and we'll give you up to 3 minutes to speak. You can come right up here to the microphone, and then we also ask that you just write your name on the clipboard so that we get it right in the record.
Good evening. My name is LaDonna Norman. I'm a community advocate. Specifically, I've been working on housing for the last couple years, and I'd have to say that we are not winning in Grand Rapids. I can't understand for the life of me how you know who you're going to give brownstone credits to, but not where a family is going to go. It's really disturbing. It's like giving these parents permission to fail. And when you put people, you are utilizing the old Holland home on Fulton Street. When you put that many amount of people in a building, some kind of trauma happens. With trauma comes PTSD. With PTSD, there comes some kind of psychological breakdown with the families. And I'm just a little concerned that we elected you guys to do a job, and you're not doing that. You sold our city out for money and greed. I know it's not just you, because there's a bigger evil than just the city of Grand Rapids, but it's you as a whole that should take responsibility. I don't understand why I've been standing up here for 3 years, why you only give us a little bit, but not a lot, and nothing's being done. I see these families, I see these kids daily. I've basically had to shut my social media down and count myself out because I feel like I'm doing the job you were elected to do. And I'm poor, black, and not free in Grand Rapids. This is a place where I grew up. This is a place where I called my home. And now I can't even be proud because of where I come from. There's no more authenticity in here. This is Grand Rapids. This is the beer city. This is the medical city. This is everything but a home where we could have great beginnings and a great future. But it's not happening like we want it to. And I'm just saying we got to do something. We got to do better. And you guys, if you had the best interest of the people of Grand Rapids, then you would bring people who are in touch with the community on board, not people who are out of touch and just a black face for a white agenda. I don't know what we can do, but I do know we have to do something and do it quick before it's just disastrous and we're looking like a Chicago town. Thank you. See you next year.
All right, others who wish to be heard?
How you doing, everybody? My name is DeAndre Jones, Safe Pitch Task Force winner, humanitarian. I am going to win the Nobel Peace Prize. I believe that. I just had to say that. I'm here because I wanted to speak. I'm actually going to be going to Alaska about a couple of weeks or something like that. An earthquake had hit Alaska, and so there's a camp called Little Beaver Christian Camp, and so I'll be going to Alaska for 2 weeks after the beginning of the year. I like to challenge myself. I like people to challenge themselves to actually try to give back. It's going to be cold. As I don't even know, I looked at the degrees, but it's definitely going to be very cold, and it kind of reminds me of Mayor Rosalynn Bliss when she told me that she was up north in a wheelchair, and so I couldn't imagine having to go through that for 12 years and couldn't walk. So I guess that's just kind of a reflection. I do understand that in order for the city to actually do more, it's just more than just the city. It's actually the federal government. It's more than just people behind that. It's actually being able to get funds for things that actually matter and doing things that actually matter and giving back to people who actually give back, like neighborhood associations. We need stronger neighborhood associations. I'm there at those meetings. I'm involved with my neighborhood association in West Grand. I'm there. If I can help any neighborhood, I will. Also, I was there at the Cure for Violence. I didn't see too many other people in here for Cure for Violence. That's just something I'm very passionate about. But I know this is not a Chicago town, ma'am. I have to say that this is definitely not a Chicago town. Because I'm from Chicago, and 2 police officers were actually killed by a train chasing after somebody. So this is not a Chicago town. But I do have to say that you guys do need to invest in the Cure for Violence over there on the south side, because that's where most of the things are happening at. I just hate that Grand Rapids is in a light that I wouldn't even say it's in a bad light. I just feel like every city can do more, to be honest. It's more than just Grand Rapids. And I know it's much more darker things or people that's involved with things going on. I'm not saying specifically here, but everybody can do better. I mean, like I said, I've done a lot of work here in the community, and like I said, I'm traveling far away from, I'm just used to being in the Midwest, to be honest. So for me to go to Alaska and everybody to continuously see who I am, like, I'm not here to play games with anybody. I'm challenging myself. I know I'm gonna be cold. I'm probably gonna want to cry and want to go back home. Honestly, anybody would. Who would want to go do that? But that's where you build strength at, saying people doing things that people would say no to. Like, why would I do that? I mean, those are kids, but those kids are no different than any kid in any other country. So that's all I really got to say. I'll be happy to tell y'all about it when I come back. Thank you.
Thank you, DeAndre. Safe travels. Hello, welcome.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor and City Commission. My name is David Davis. I live at 936 Street, or Front Street, Northwest. I live in one of the new low-income housing places. And there are certain problems with the place, and the police and different state or city agencies are taking care of them, I hope in the near future. I want to update you on trash in the city. I've met with Kevin Santos. We discussed a few things, and we thought a topic or a name for this group of people to be something about bringing pride back to the city of Grand Rapids. And I think it's a lack of pride when people just throw trash all over the place. I also met with Scott over at the city compliance, Scott Baker, today, and he gave me a few ideas and stuff, and he told me what his jurisdiction is in the city so that I could figure out how it might be used. This past Sunday, I went over to the Bridge Street Market, and I was going back to my apartment, and I ran over something that was quite dark, and it was at dusk, and it punctured my rear tire, which amounts to about a $27 expense for somebody that's retired depending on Social Security. And that I hear lots of complaints about the bus system, and that I ride the bus quite a bit now that the weather has changed, and especially for long distances. For those that don't know, we have a brand new schedule for the bus system, and I think that they should go down to Central Station, spend $1, and find out what our bus system is really about. And I enjoy taking the bus. I find very little complaint about it, probably a 95% approval rating. And they do the best they can under the situation. You can't make a bus stop for everybody that's coming along and that. And so I feel that's something else that needs to be addressed. Also, when we come down here, we can complain and complain and complain, but that doesn't provide any answers. If we can complain, we should have an answer for that complaint and to see if we can address it with this city commission and the mayor. And I'd like very much to see some of these things take place amongst these meetings. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Davis. Mr. Miller, I'm going to ask you not to yell when somebody else is speaking. People have a right to be heard and not be interrupted. All right, others who wish to be heard?
Hi.
Hi.
My name's Teresa Umschwiller. I am not sure what Grand Rapids' stance is on 5G. I was told when I called Winnie Brink's office before the last hearing for 5G that Grand Rapids was against it. 5G is the next generation for...
Broadband? Oh, cell phone.
Yeah, I have information. I can leave it with you if you would like. But I came to express very deep concern for what this is going to mean for the citizens of Grand Rapids. Me personally, I live on a corner with 4 different utility poles. Do you know what 637 and 894, SB 637?
Yeah, I'm sorry, we refer to it as small cell legislation.
Okay, sorry.
And right-of-way preemption.
Yeah,
not 5G.
I just
Sorry, I'm
revert to
no,
5G.
We
so-
like 5G and broadband, but we just want to keep access and rights to our right-of-way, so go ahead.
Okay, so is Grand Rapids against 5G, like as against 637 and 894?
Why don't you share with us your comments, and then I'll see if Karin or someone can follow up with you right after you
Okay.
speak, okay?
So my concerns are, we live on a corner with 4 utility poles, and that's just on one corner. I mean, I can see, I don't even know how many utility poles from my front porch. I have one at the back of my house too, so that's 5 utility poles where potentially there could be small cells put up. They terrify me. My kids, our bedrooms are on the 2nd floor. I look out their bedroom window and there's a utility pole right there. I could throw a ball at it. And, you know, for there to potentially be small cells on each pole scares me. I'm seeing these small cells go up all over the city. I just saw 2 new well, I don't know how new they are, but I just saw them yesterday off of Eastern and Wealthy on the back of an abandoned church facing houses. And there's another building right towards the corner on Wealthy near Eastern with houses right behind that too. And all these small cells going up, like what? There's thousands of studies showing that this is bad for us. Thousands. And there's 200 scientists or more that have come out and spoke out against it. I mean, I'm scared to be in the city. We plan on leaving the city as soon as we can. We don't want to be in the city with all this. So, you know, I know a lot of people don't know what this is, but that's why I'm here, is to find out what the plan is with Grand Rapids. If you guys are planning on trying to put some kind of legislation in to prevent some of this. I mean, 637 and 894 kind of took away all my hope for that, but
Yeah.
so.
Thank you for your comments. We have concerns as well, and I'm going to ask Eric DeLong to talk with you a little bit more, because as I'm sure you know, it's a complicated issue, and the state makes decisions, and sometimes we don't have a whole lot of control after that. So, but I'll have Eric follow up with you and provide more information. Thanks. All right, others who wish to be heard?
Hello, my name is Von Ruff. I live in Wyoming now. Originally, when I moved to Grand Rapids, part of Heartside community. I came to speak about the Cure Violence that came here last week. I really feel like that's a wonderful program. It actually touched me in my heart and my soul once. I actually shed a tear as the guy was giving his presentation. Reason why? Because I actually dodged a federal case back in 2011, maybe 2012 in Holland, for being looked at as the enforcer for the GDs out of Holland, Michigan. Over the years, I had to change my mindset, change my train of thinking, change myself overall. I believe Cure Violence is a positive program, and a lot of people in this community can use it. Like the young lady said, like, she compared this to Chicago, and the young man said, this is not Chicago. Well, it can be in 10 years, 20 years, but today is what matters to be progress in the future. I feel like Cure Violence is something that needs to happen. You guys really need to take that seriously. I feel like I'm very supportive of that. I feel like the kids that's growing up today are not feeling safe in their communities. Career violence could help that. Police feel like they are not safe handling kids. Career violence could help that. Parents don't know who to go to for different situations. Career violence could help that. I did ask how much it was to start career violence, which is very over the limit in my eyes. Like, that's too much. And I talked to the director about that and told him I could literally cut that more than half, 65%, I feel like, to start it up and work on it myself. I really hope that we can see career violence in West Michigan in the Grand Rapids area come that year. Ms. Mayor Bliss just made some type of motion to make it effective right away. I'm sure career violence is something that needs that type of attention and that type of emotion behind it. It's been great coming up here, getting used to this, meeting all you all of Grand Rapids, especially my friend, Mr. Moody. It's been wonderful. I hope to see you all in that chair and hope that we could fight for something and come to an understanding as the people and you all as the city. I feel like we both need to be on a level as one rather than fighting against each other because the feds are on your back and breathing down your neck. I feel like, us as the people, we need to work together because once your term's up, you're one of us again. So just keep that in mind and hope you guys have a good New Year.
Thank you. Happy holidays. Hello, others wish to be heard? Hi.
Honorable Mayor Bliss and esteemed commissioners, my name is Jeff Webb and I reside in Hudsonville. In 2005, a kind, young but overly ambitious chiropractor broke my neck. The resulting spinal cord injury ultimately landed me in a makeshift 10-by-10 hospital room, bedridden 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. After 7 years of suffering, having not walked or eaten solid food in several years, I finally was placed on palliative care, waiting to die. The mercy and grace of God visited me in 2012 in the form of a spontaneous healing. During those years, suffering became my closest companion. It also became a respected and valuable teacher. The aftermath of my injury demanded all of my attention. As a result, it changed the way I looked at suffering in general, but also the way I would forever look at others who are suffering. Whether it be because of circumstances beyond their control, such as illness, homelessness, or ignorant life choices, or whether by self-inflicted means. In the past 7 years, I've been rehabilitating my mind and body. A significant amount of my time is also spent serving those who suffer on all levels and for all reasons here in Grand Rapids. Several months ago, I was helping someone to get a much-needed bed and help at Mel Trotter Ministries. I realized I had no coins to pay the 50 cents or so that it would have taken for me to rent the space from the city long enough to help the young man. But even if I did, the acute need allowed no time to place the coins in the meter. When I came out 10 minutes later, I was the proud owner of a City of Grand Rapids $20 parking ticket. In the days that followed, I'm embarrassed to admit, I was struggling with figuring out how to pay the fine. After thinking about it a while, I began to think of others in my predicament. I also began to research and understand that most of the ongoing caregivers, those who provide the bulk of caregiving outside of the holiday season, are significantly comprised of low to lower middle income peoples. My esteemed leaders, Grand Rapids is a blessed community with many of our counties and country's most wealthy and compassionate donors. They are genuinely caring people. This character trait makes its way into the fabric of our city culture, a culture that should then be jealously guarded and protected. It should also be made to flourish. You folks, you have the honor of being leaders in this wonderful city, and as such, I believe you have the duty to do what you can, not only to remove obstacles from those who try to offer care to the suffering, but you also have the skills, and more importantly, the platform to provide leadership to our country in how to provide the best environment for encouraging care to the suffering. To that end, I would like to gain your personal and collective support and to work with you folks to create an initiative tentatively called Grand Rapids Cares. This initiative would study the city's base need, both in terms of people suffering and those who could potentially provide care,
Thank you.
seek a way to.
I'm sorry, Mr.
I'm
Webb, but
sorry.
your time is up. That's okay. Do you have a copy of that letter for us
do.
to have? Thank you for coming. Thank you, Mr. Webb. Hi, welcome.
Hi. Good evening, Madam Mayor, Commissioners. How are you all doing this evening? I want to thank you all for the diligence and the work that you've done to take the steps forward to create the new, my name is Eric Foster. I'm from Okemos, Michigan, and East Lansing, originally Detroit. I want to thank you all, though, for taking the time to do the diligence to create the commercial structure for the medical marijuana industry here within the city, and the steps you've taken to work to push for local inclusion and opportunity. Now that you've done that, though, there's a few things that I would like you to take into consideration. One is with respect to the new tax revenue that you will generate from these businesses, the ones that will be paying property tax, their 25% share of the excise tax that comes from the provisioning centers, the business income tax, the employee income tax, as well as permitting fees and the regulatory assessment, which we've estimated based on the potential revenue share within the city for the amount of patients in the area could be anywhere from 10 to 12 million in new net revenue. That you earmark those dollars for specific intentional program activities so that the citizens can see the value and return that the industry can bring to help with parks, to help with empowerment, economic or housing, to also help with other community activities and community building. Secondly, you should look at the monies that are going to come to Kent County based on the 30% of the excise tax on proceeds from provisioning centers, as well as the 5% that goes to the county sheriff. To have them look at earmarking those dollars for specific programming activities that can be anywhere from a $2 to $3 million bucket per year of new tax revenue that they could earmark for dollars specifically within. And then lastly, the 6% sales tax that's charged, the 72% that goes to local schools, as well as the portion that goes to local revenue sharing, you may want to talk to Lansing to request that there can be some sort of proportional formula that's set up to allow for a greater share of those dollars to come based upon the revenues that's generated from the businesses that are operating in the city. So take advantage of the new revenues and work with your related governments to make sure that you're maximizing the inflows for intentional outflows to benefit the community. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Foster. All right, others wish to be heard?
My name is Scott Atchison. Don't start the clock yet. I want to bring up my item here. Is there a mouse?
I'm not sure.
There's got to be a mouse somewhere.
Hold on. Oh, wait.
He can't control her.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Bring up page
Sorry, Scott.
51. Page 51 to page 55. I want the audience to see what I'm talking about.
Okay, Scott, hold on, just take a deep breath. Let's give our city
I got all the
clerk.
time in the world.
I know, we just let the city clerk respond quickly. All right.
Hey, stop right there.
Okay.
Okay,
Scott, I'm
I
gonna start
wish
your
I
time.
could control it. Okay, my name is Scott Atchison. I live in Ward 3, grew up in Ward 2, and I'm all over the metropolitan area, a lot downtown. What I'm trying to say today, I've got a new narrative. We have a substandard information welcome center downtown Grand Rapids. 3 people I spoke to tonight, 2 who work in the city of Grand Rapids and 1 who's a security guard in this building, didn't even know we have a welcome center downtown. it's sad, and I'm going to tell you why. It gets a D- at best, in my opinion. There's 3 strikes against it. First of all, it's not at Pearl and Monroe, the main downtown intersection, the most highly visible traffic for foot traffic and vehicle traffic. Strike 1. Strike 2, it's inside another building, the Grand Rapids Art Museum. Strike 2. Strike 3, it's in the retail shop of the art museum. Who would put an information center in a retail shop? People during Art Prize just walked right by it. What I'm trying to do, now if you go to the first page of that, I'm trying to create a new information system. Basically, the location at Pearl and Monroe, daily restaurant information. You go into this welcome center, they have no restaurant menus. They're going to look it up with Google just as you would do on your phone. It's sad. Then they say, oh, go ask a wandering ambassador. Same thing. They have nothing. They try to pull it up on their phone, which is 1G. It ain't even 3G. It's so slow. Now, if you go down a little bit to where the cell phone is right there. What I'm saying is we take all of the restaurants downtown, do it in Excel and Word, turn it into a PDF, and send it to your devices. And right now, I just send it to all your emails. And when I do it on my phone, I've got it here, and I can click on the highlighted blue website, and it brings up the website of the restaurant. It's awesome. Right now, I want you all to do a little field trip for yourself. Walk to the art museum and pretend you're a visitor and you need information to see what they do to you or do for you. It's sad. It's inside a retail shop. Now, how should you pay for it? I'm going to be real quick here. The hotel motel tax assessment in Grand Rapids, Michigan is 15%. If you go stay in a hotel room, your bill is $100, 15% tax. 5% to the state, 6% to the state, 5% to the county that pays the bonds for DeVos Place and Van Andel, and 4% to the Convention and Visitors Bureau. The Convention and Visitors Bureau should be doing this, but they don't want to for some reason. I wish they'd take this professionally and not personally. They're doing a poor job. But that 4% that goes to the Convention and Visitors Bureau should be used to fund this. Mark, Washington City, you should call a meeting with the DDA and the CVB to find out why they're not doing this already. And next time I'm going to show you a budget.
Thank you. But no clapping. Not allowed in this space. So, okay. And thank you, City Clerk, for pulling that up. All right, any final comments during this public comment period before I turn to my colleagues? Mr. Miller, are you coming up? Or I'm going to move forward.
Watchdog back. I don't know how far Scott. I think Scott deserves a statue right at Pearl and Monroe.
For persistence.
And since I came up with the idea, you guys popped for it, right? But he did nail it, and when he said that was our city, it is our city center, still is. For 68 years, our bus lineup went there. Sometimes 24 different bus route branches. And if you go into McKay Tower in the lobby, you see all sorts of awesome photographs of how it was at one time. There was streetcar platforms, almost 3 streetcar lengths long on both sides, plus a dispatcher control tower, and that's where our buses belong. Now, as far as Mr. 95%, 100% of America's 200,000 plus school buses are nicer than ours. Some 16 million bus seats. Those seats are wide and plush, and what is with it? Look what the bus seats are insulting in terms of his 97% of, I would say 98% of City Hall employees don't use the bus, the city bus. So the Rapid employees, I only know about 4 or 5 who take the city bus. They get 200 parking spots inside their bus garage for them to park. Plus, besides that, they're parking illegally in the Amtrak lot behind Bay 12 as well as behind Bay 4 and 5. they don't ride it, and it's way, those figures are way above 95% refusing to ride the Rapid. The conditions there are so vile that, well, I won't go into that, but our bus routes along back downtown, I went to the black bus routes earlier, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 14, are checked out of our own city hall down here, checked out of Pearl Monroe, where Scott's statue belongs. Also Catholic routes to Stop Star 12, I brought that up under Gilda's earlier. And the Shanghai 9 Alpine, because Varga, one-time fag-infested wise, he ran the 9, Shanghai the 9 down Pearl both ways instead of making a quadrangular one-way loop. Another one is the the Crutch Kicker 18, as well as America's dumbest bus route, your Skyjack 7, which I would recommend that you look up with the 15. Find us a dumber bus route in America. It does not belong on a freeway. Thank you ever so much, and trying to get into trouble. Merry Christmas to everyone.
Merry Christmas, Mr. Miller. All right, any final comments before I close this public comment period? All right, seeing none, I'm going to close this public comment period, and I'm going to turn to my colleagues on the commission, and I will start down here with Commissioner Rapart.
All right, well, thanks everybody for coming out, and I just want to thank you all for welcoming me up here for this first year and helping me understand so many things. Shout out to Dave Allen, who's not sitting here anymore, who spent 6 months sitting right next to me, and during that time, I listened to 558 public comments. Our shortest meeting was 40 minutes long, and our longest meeting was 3 hours and 25 minutes. And I ran into my former colleague, Dave Schaefer, the other day. Our daughters were playing each other in basketball, and my daughter's team won. But I am pleased to say that Adeline scored 2 points, and Raya scored 2 points in that game, and he's doing well. And he said that he's working harder now than even when he was on the commission, which I can't imagine. But I do want to just say a couple of things that I'm thankful for. I'm thankful that we now have Nate sitting here in this seat, and Mr. Washington, and Joel sitting up here with us. Those are 3 fine things that we achieved together this year. I'm thankful for Chief Rahinsky's service to our town. He spent a lot of time with me. We actually met on a very regular basis, and I'm really grateful for the knowledge he passed on to me so that I can understand the inner workings of the police department. And congratulations to Deputy Chief Kittle in the back. I'm very pleased with the progress we made around housing, and just this past week, 6 more projects were affirmed in our city, 160 more units coming online, $50 million of investment. And I also think, even though it was controversial and awkward, that some of our best work together this year was around figuring out what to do with medical marijuana. I feel like everybody did their homework, everybody did their research, everybody came prepared, and we came to a great set of consensus. So a great year. I'm grateful to be sitting up here with you, grateful for the way that we've gotten to know each other, and thanks again, everybody, for coming out.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Moody?
I look better than Dave. But thank you, Kurt. I echo everything Commissioner Rapart has said, and also I want to echo what was last said by Mr. Miller. Everybody have a wonderful holiday season.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Kelly?
I want to thank Vaughn and DeAndre for your comments about Cure Violence. Several of us were able to meet with their staff or go to either Neeland or Kroc Center last week and listen to the presentation. So we're looking forward to that being manifested in Grand Rapids. Thank you, Deputy Chief Kettle, for stepping up and being willing to be our interim chief. And we all got a chance, I think most of us today, to say goodbye formally to Chief Rahinsky, so I wish him well. Mr. Davis, thank you for your efforts in trying to clean up the city. I have one more idea for you that came to us a few months ago from a citizen you may remember, Plogging. which is to encourage people if they go out jogging to take a plastic bag with them, wear a pair of gloves, and on their jog, pick up the trash and then throw it in the nearest dumpster or trash bin. So that's another idea you can pass along.
We should start an idea board.
We need to, don't we?
Lots of ideas.
So Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, everybody.
Commissioner Jones.
Thank you, Mayor. I, too, want to join the chorus in thanking our chief, retiring Chief Rahinsky, for his service here in Grand Rapids. And I think that I also want to say thank you to Deputy Chief Kittle, again, for your willingness to step up and to serve in the capacity as interim. I also want to thank all of you who came out on this evening, and am particularly thankful for, again, a year in which we've had, I think, a roller coaster of emotions with all of the various issues that we've covered. But I would like to say that I can't imagine doing it with any other group than those who are here on this dais. So I appreciate all of you, and want to wish all of you in the audience a very Merry Christmas and a safe and prosperous New Year. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner O'Connor?
Well, I didn't come prepared to have a big closing speech for the end of the year. I didn't know that was like on the
end of the year.
There was an expectation of that. I do want to, it's interesting though, as we look at the events of what's going on right now in Lansing and what's happening in some other levels of government, that I'm always hopeful around this board, just because of the fact that we work together well, and we might not agree, but we're methodical and we're intentional, and we don't make hasty decisions, and we're not trying to do things in the dark of night or in the final hour. And so I appreciate that a lot. I appreciate that we get to, I think we don't have a lame duck right now, and we're not trying to just slam a bunch of things through to get them done for whatever the motivations might be. That I think we're here because we all genuinely care about the city of Grand Rapids, the people of Grand Rapids, and wanting it to be the best place to live in the state of Michigan. And so I'm thankful for all of you for doing that work with, together.
Thanks. Commissioner Lanier?
Yeah, like you, Commissioner, I wasn't prepared for an end of the year. I didn't do any counts on public comment or any of that, but I would like to thank Chief Rahinsky for his service here in Grand Rapids, and DC Kettle, our now interim chief, for his willingness to step up and serve this community, and I know he'll serve us well. And thanks to everyone else who had an opportunity to share publicly here this evening.
Yeah, thanks, Commissioner. City Manager.
Thank you, Mayor and Commissioners. I echo all the sentiments, and it's my privilege to be here. Thank you for allowing me the opportunity to be here to serve. Just a couple of other highlights. We've had community inquiries about the zoning ordinances that have passed around medical marijuana, and we will be scheduling some informational meetings and reaching out, just public education to the community about what has been approved, and we will make sure that you are aware of those meetings and which wards they're in before we begin having those conversations. Also, just to make you aware formally, publicly, the county has entered into discussions around the future of the land bank and changing the administration potentially of how it's being administered now. And the staff has compiled a letter. We only recently learned of the county's intention to potentially dissolve the land bank on Friday. The Finance Committee had a meeting today, and they will, I think it did get approved out of the Finance Committee and will be heard by the full commission on, County Commission on Thursday. And so hopefully they will share our thoughts with the full commission before they take the final vote. And then finally, I want to also thank Chief Rahinsky for his service and commend Chief Kittle for his role as interim, and we look forward to bringing, hopefully, the first meeting in January our efforts and plans for the search process, and may need your approval in approving our search firm that will help us look both locally and across the country for our next leader in the police department. Thank you.
Thank you. City Attorney, City Clerk. All right, and I'll just add, I'll add a couple things. One, I'm going to add my thanks to Chief Rahinsky. I was able to go to his reception today and wish him well in retirement. And I'll add my thanks to Interim Chief Kittle for stepping up and serving in this role. And then also I want to take this moment today. The City Commission renewed our contracts with two of our appointed officials, Mr. John Globinski and our very own City Attorney, Anita Hitchcock. And so I just want to thank both of you for your service, for your continued service, and thank you for your willingness to continue to serve and to sign another contract with us. It's really both ways, right? It's a shared partnership, and I know I speak for everyone around this table that we deeply appreciate all that you do. Your responsiveness, your heart for service, and your absolute dedication to this city. So thank you both. Thank you as well. And you're welcome. And then I will add my deep gratitude to not only serve our city, but to serve with every single one of you. So with that, with this being our last commission meeting of the year, I hope everyone has a very safe holiday and that you enjoy this time, hopefully, with those that you love, and we will see you in the new year. We are adjourned.